Hello, today is our new topic, and it's very important topic for the geology and the climatic change students. Today our topic is unlocking the Earth climate history and the role of the isotope in paleoclimatology. So today's our topic is based on uses of the isotopes of the different like carbon and oxygen, and they are used in the proxies of the climate change. So it's very important topic, and you have been learned so much from this topic. So first of all, we are just know that what is isotopes. Isotope is the chemical element in which the atoms have the same number of proton, but they are different number of neutron. Number of protons means the proton electron in their outer shell is equal in number, but inside the nucleus, the neutron of the atom will be different. So there is some three famous example. One can be seen from the oxygen isotopes and other carbon isotopes and the hydrogen isotope. The oxygen isotope is 16, 17, 18. 16 means there is the 8 proton, 8 electron and 8 neutron, so mass number will be 16. But the mass number 17 is because the neutron present is increased by 1 in the nucleus, and the mass number 18 of the oxygen 18 is also means that the 2 neutron will be increasing in the nucleus. So we can see that same number of protons, same number of atom of oxygen have different number of neutron. Due to different number of neutron, they have different number of mass number. So this is known as isotopes. So so by study the isotopes, we mostly use in the paleoclimatic history. The two famous isotope analysis, for example the oxygen isotopes and carbon isotopes, are mostly used in the climate and paleoclimatic proxies. So the different isotopes is because of the different mass number and the nuclear structure. So first of all, we just see the difference in the isotopic analysis of the oxygen. We can be using primarily in the temperature and ice volume reconstruction, while the difference in the carbon isotopes, we are just see the past biological activities and the carbon cycling. So oxygen and carbon isotopes both are used for the paleoclimatic reconstruction and proxies of the paleoclimate. Either the temperature is rises or they are fall down. Either they are global warming or they are global cooling. So before the start of the oxygen isotope and carbon isotopes, first of all, we just are looking the where we just find the oxygen isotope and carbon isotopes. For mostly the carbon isotopes, we are just focusing the foraminifera test, like calcium carbonate of the foraminifera, in which you can see the oxygen. We are just collected it, and by testing this foraminifera test, the oxygen isotope, we are just interpret the paleoclimatic change in the ocean or on the land. So for the carbon isotopes, we are just looking the organic red shell. Organic red shell is the sedimentary rock of the different class come into the ocean. So by this we are just collecting the carbon, and we run the isotope, and for this isotope knowledge, we just interpreted that either this carbon is for the global warming, or there are some mass catastrophic activity. We can see from this image, this is the cinnamonian turonian boundary, which are present in the early to middle Cretaceous strata. This is the sample taken from this cinnamonian turonian boundary. So first of all, isotopes of oxygen. There are three types of isotope: O16, O17 and O18. So we are just mainly focus O16 and O18 because their abundance in the nature. O17 is very little, but the O16 are lighter isotope. They evaporate easily and they are abundant in the atmosphere, in their ocean, in their in their land, and O18 is very heavier and they are precipitate easily because their mass abundance. This O16 and O18 ratio, uh, they can be important proxy for the paleoclimatology, temperature change, and the ice volume fluctuation and the variation in the hydrological cycle, which offering the insight of the Earth climatic history. So we are just this is the figure, and this is the figure of the isotopic change in the oxygen. Uh, for O16 is mostly used, O18 is mostly used. This is the heavier isotope of the oxygen, which contain 6 proton and 8 neutron, and this is the 8 proton and 10 neutron in the O18 isotope, and the O16 isotope contain 8 proton and 8 neutron. They are heavier isotope and they are lighter isotope. They can be mostly found in the nature and they are little bit found, but they are found in heavier. For example, they are precipitate easily, so they are mostly found in the land type. And this is the graph by the study the O18 isotope analysis. We can interpret the uh, we can interpret the climatic change throughout the world. For example, there is a 6 mass extension. As the mass extension is continue, the O18 value will be uh, O18 value will be decreases. Why will be decreases? Because if you know the paleoclimatology during the glacier period, this is the O16 and O18 ratio. If there is the increase O18 O16 ratio, means the O16 concentration will be decreases and the O18 concentration increases. So it means that the sigma O18 isotope will be the ratio will be increases. So what is it mean? It means that whenever 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 there is the global cooling period, which means that the O16 will be locked in the glacier, which means that the concentration of the O16 will be decreases and ultimately the O18 will be increased. So overall the O18 sigma will be increases. So whenever there is the increase the O18 concentration, it means the O18 value increases, and ultimately means the global cooling and the globally covered by the glacier will be occur. So this is the importance of the O18 sigma isotopic analysis. The other is the ice core. Ice core are same knowledge of the paleoclimate. Whenever there is the O16 decrease in the atmosphere, it means that the O16 will be locked in the glacier and the O18 concentration will be high. So ultimately the O18 concentration, O18 value increases, so it means the O sigma 18 will be ultimately increase the ratio, which allowing the scientists to and deduce the past temperature that it will be the ice rich environment and there is the temperature low. It also distribute the giving the knowledge between the whether there is the land or there is the ocean. So first of all, latitudinal gradient. Uh, if there is the O18 and O16 ratio will be a very latitude. For example, in polar ice and there will be low O18 and O16. It's mean that in polar ice the O16 concentration will be high, but in the ocean or near the ocean, the O18 concentration will be uh, O18 concentration will be high. So what's the reason, and what is the science behind this? There is the if there is the there is the evaporation occur, so mostly the O16 carbon O16 isotope will be evaporated, which means that the O18 will be left behind. If they are move across the land, first of all the O18 will be precipitate, which means that because of the denser isotope, so O18 will be rich in the near the shore area. uh, when when these clouds are further moved from the high altitude area, so the concentration of O18 will be decreases because it precipitate in that area. The O16 concentration will be high. So it tells about the latitudinal gradient. In high latitudinal gradient, for example 90 degree or the 60 degree of the polar region or temperate region, the concentration of 16 will be high because it lighter isotope and it can be traveled so far from the ocean. Whether there if there is the low latitude area, for example the 0 to 30 equator, so mostly the O18 will be increases, which means that the sigma O18 will ratio will be increased in low latitude, and in high latitude the sigma 18O concentration will be low because the O16 will be high. It also altitude effect also tell us higher the altitude means the O16 will be increased and sigma 18O will be decreases. It also tells us the hydrology. Whenever there is the enrich of the evaporation, it means that in the atmosphere the O16 will be rich and the O18 concentration of the sigma will be decreased. So it means the enrichment of the hydrological cycle. If the hydrological cycle will be low and the all over the earth is covered by the glacier, it means that the O18 concentration of is high and the sigma O18 will be high. There is the another uh, proxy of the isotope which is known as carbon. Carbon is mostly used for the organic burial, and they also tell us the whether is a catastrophic event like mass extinction, so it also tell us. So carbon is the for look like the oxygen contain three isotopes O16, O17, O18, but carbon have three isotopes: carbon 12, carbon 13, and carbon 14. In nature, the carbon 14 are limited, but the carbon 13, carbon 12 is enriched. So we are mainly focus these two isotopes. Carbon 12 is significantly more common than the carbon 13 because it lighter, so plant is mostly used by the carbon 12. During photosynthesis, the plant prefer to carbon 12 because it light, so and they are easily to take it and easily for the photosynthesis process. So this is known as the isotopic fractionation, means the carbon 12 will be rich in the organic burial, and the carbon 13 will be rich in the atmosphere. So using the carbon isotope we can be used in the environmental condition, biological, and the change in the life carbon cycle. Like C3, C4 plants. C3 plants like tree, shrubs, and temperate grasses, they contain more negative carbon 13 and carbon 12 ratio, means that in C3 plants take in the carbon 12 more. So by this the sigma 13 carbon value will be more negative. But C4 plants like tropical grass, maize, and sugarcane, they have less negative carbon 13 carbon 12 ratio, which means that the carbon 12 uptake concentration will be low, and the carbon 13 will be enriched, so that's why they will be less negative. So carbon 13 carbon 13 contain the less uptake of the high uptake of the carbon 12, but C4 plants uptaking concentration of the carbon 12 will be low as compared to C3 plants. It also tell us about the carbon cycle dynamic. If there is the increased burial of the organic carbon, so they will be led to higher the carbon 13 and carbon 12 ratio in the marine carbonates. So what it means that if there is the ratio of the carbon 12 and carbon 13 are high, so it means that the carbon 13 will be rich in the marine, and carbon 12 are all uptake by the plants and animals, and they are kept into the organic burial of organic rich shale. So the value of the carbon 13 concentration will be high. It also show the sources of the carbon. So just focusing on these two carbon of volcanic CO2, fossil fuel emission, and organic matter decay. So by this ratio we can analyze the scientists the different carbon sources to the different atmosphere in the ocean, the carbon concentration. So if they have two also excursion like the oxygen isotope. If they have positive excursion of the carbon 13, which mean that the carbon 12 value will be decreased and the carbon 13 will be increases, which mean that the burial of the organic rich sediments are so much high, and the primary productivity will be so much high. So it contained under anoxic condition, in Devonian time there will be increase in the organic carbon barrel because the evolution of plant will be rich enrichment. So they have rises the carbon 13, sigma carbon 13, because the carbon 13 value will be high, and the carbon 12 will be uptake by the plants, they are rich in there. So the concentration will be decreased the carbon 12, but ultimately carbon 13 increases. As their opposite in negative carbon 13 excursion, so there is the mass extension occur, which represent that the plants uptake of the carbon 12 will be not taken by the plants, so the concentration of the carbon 12 will increases. So it ultimately decreases the carbon 13 and the sigma 13 carbon. So whenever there is the positive excursion of the carbon 13, it directly shows that and that there is the plant rich environment and the global warming rich environment, and the plant rich fossil, and the everything is good. But if there is the less concentration of carbon 12 and higher concentration of carbon 13, which mean the positive excursion of the carbon 13, it shows the enrichment of the organic burial. And if there is the negative excursion, mean the carbon 12 will be high and carbon 13 will be low, so it will be a mass extension period because there is no plants to uptake the carbon 12. So this is the two graph in which we can see these many spikes or many ultimate anomaly given by the organic burial, which ultimately give us there is some mass extension or some anoxic environment is takes place. So thank you. I think this video is informative for you. So we will be meet in the next video.